welcome to FMCG by Alex. My name is Alex, and today I would like to talk to you about the retail sales pitch. So, how do you actually sell to your first customer? This is really a beginner's course
Nerves.
for first customer for small medium enterprise, or UMKM as they call it in Indonesia. Pay attention, I'll give you the tips and tricks. So basically, your first store is always the most important one because as soon as you actually are managing to get your first store, it is easier to build on that. So you can reference, say, I'm already selling in this store. Can you also sell it for me? The problem is that your first store is actually someone who doesn't have any idea of who you are, what your product is. So you have no track record to show them. The sympathy that you actually need is someone who gives you a chance. That is blatantly said what it comes down to. So the sympathy of I don't have anyone yet. I have this beautiful product that I put all my being in. I have great plans, big plans to scale it, to really build it into a good business. And I just need a little bit of help. Now, if you ask for help, people are very inclined to give it to you. Depends a little bit on the person, of course. The one is more helpful than the other. But as soon as you get this time of day for this retail owner, the store owner, or a store manager or a buyer, basically, that's when you can make that pitch. So your product needs a lot of explanation. So you need to prepare well. So what do you need to prepare? It's always good to bring a sample of the product. So if it's something to eat or drink, then it's easy. You can actually bring a sample for them to taste. So this is basically the best way to get someone to experience your product because people are either visual. So visual means they need to see the product. They need to see you also. The second thing is, of course, the auditive, so they need to hear you speak about it. And the third thing is actually kinesthetic, which means that they need to touch it, they need to feel it. So there are people that are falling into each category. So your safest bet is when you have a meeting, you bring a product to, uh, you know, taste, touch, whatever they need to do. If it's not a food product, still bring a sample. And the smell can be, if it's soap, for example, bring the soap is perfume, bring perfume, whatever it is, application. You can make a product video if the use is actually something you need to explain, how people actually are, or studies that need to do it. So there are people who are more data focused, so people who really would like to know everything about the product. So these are very analytical people. There are people who really need to have it short. Okay, what is this? What is the price? I just need to know that, and then I'll buy it or not. And you have people who love to talk about everything about you. You need to explain basically who you are, what you do, why you do it, etc. So this is actually all the stuff you need to prepare. So you need to really cater to all of these people, which means that you need to bring, apart from the sample of the product, you best make a small PowerPoint presentation. That depends a little bit if you are someone who just steps into a retailer and asks for a meeting on the spot. Yeah, PowerPoint presentation is probably not something they want to prepare, but you can still prepare it for larger customers. Someone who has multiple stores, for example. Now, a flyer, a brochure, something printed, so like something they can touch, something you can leave behind. You need, of course, have your business card, so you need to print business cards. It's maybe 2025, sounds a bit weird to have business cards still, but it's still very, very important that you leave something behind that people can pass on. If, let's say, you come to a store and owner is not there, you need to leave something that show proof that you can refer to later when you call. So go somewhere, that is normally the best way, just to ask, okay, I'm Alex, I am selling soap, would you like to buy my product? Can I meet the person who is in charge of that? Now, that is something that leads to either the person being able to meet you right away, or you can make an appointment right there on the spot, or like, how do you actually submit this, etc. So this also gives you the best option. So being actually really stopping by, and you can't automatically assume that you can get a meeting on the first attempt, but the gatekeeper, the person who is actually going to meet you and greet you, that is usually front desk person or someone in the store itself. Usually asking someone in the store on the shop floor actually is the best way. So we say, oh, who is actually in charge of this? I'm from this company. I would like to offer my product. So this is the best way, the low threshold way, because people who are on the shop floor, they are very helpful. They are trained to help customers. So therefore, they also train to help suppliers. Then as soon as you meet this person that is you need to speak to the decision maker, then that's where you can actually make an appointment, formal appointment. Okay, I'll come back next week same time. Then you have time. Then you also can sense whether this person is very helpful or not. Some people are also very dismissive right away up front. Now, getting in front of this buyer is actually the key. So try. This is actually a numbers game. So if you are getting no as an answer the first time around, don't worry. Just go to the next one. So as soon as you knock on multiple doors, you get better at it. Take the way you are actually getting feedback from people. Refine, rinse, repeat. Basically, that's the way to do it. You get better. You get more confident. So don't let the rejection put you down. So this is actually the most important piece of advice I can give you, because you will get no's. There are idiots there who don't see the the importance of how brilliant your product is. There are also people who so maybe have a bad day. So in the end, it's a matter of, hey, I had to fight with my wife or my husband this morning. Now anything that happens today is not the right thing. So that can be just your bad luck. That is a day. So try and see whether you can find someone who actually is willing to talk to you and who is willing to hear you out. Now, what your first talk will be like is basically you need to tell a little bit about yourself, which is logical. You need to introduce yourself properly. Hi, I'm Alex. I have started this. This is the product. This is why I'm doing it. So not only the what, but also the why. And then actually you need to stop, because you need to basically let them ask some questions. And it is always a very interesting thing. I've basically come to getting that undercurrent. So the undercurrent I've done in my time, there was this very difficult guy. Apparently, even colleagues of his actually said he was a very difficult guy, and I got a meeting to actually come and pitch to him. Now, that guy was busy, so he was already letting me wait for 5 to 10 minutes. So no problem. I am trained to do that. And then he had something on the wall that was a poster of some old product. And at some point, when he came in, I said hello and introduced myself. And I made a comment about the opposite. Hey, that's nice. I haven't seen that for a long time. That's really beautiful artwork and all those things. The entire conversation shifted in a moment, where he bought everything I had, everything I brought. Actually, he was interested in that suddenly, and we were talking a very long time about his, kids, about his holidays, about himself, basically why he actually had this business and why he had a store there, and when he wanted to go retire and all those things. Now, that is the key. So as soon as you get people to talk about themselves, you have an entry point. So as soon as you can do that. So this is talking about yourself, like, oh, I've been everywhere. I've been, like, I'm close to 50 now. So I have this life experience. I've done a lot of things in my life, but people don't want to hear that. People don't want to hear where I've worked, what I've done. Maybe, you can refer to it once in a while if it's relevant, but if you constantly keep on repeating your own, CV, basically, that is something that others don't want to hear. Others want to actually talk about themselves. You need to be genuinely interested in them. How long have you been working in this store? How long have you been an entrepreneur? What have you done before this? That is usually also something I have been asking, because there's no way that people have actually, other than maybe some rare exceptions, that people have done this entire life. So this is the key where you need to get to. And that can be through probing questions. You can refer to something you see in the office. You can actually simply ask, say, how long have you been with the company? That will open up. It's an open question. That will also be something you can ask follow-up questions for. So that is the first talk. So the first talk, actually let it flow. Don't be too eager to sell something. Don't be too eager to push your product or how much, basically. And keep it in a way that they say, look, I need help. I have no experience. I have basically just launched this and I need to have my first store because I need to show yeah, some traction, some people actually buying this product. I need a place to basically call my own in order to push the product and make sure you really support this product. So you say, okay, I want to start with a promotion. I want to make it as low threshold as possible for you, and make sure that the product actually does sell. That it has. I will go stand there myself to sample the product to people who are actually coming to the store. That is something you need to really be prepared to do. So the fact that you're small and local, so start with your local stores close to you, people that actually come from your area. That is the lowest hanging fruit, basically, and the lowest threshold. So you need to leverage that being small and local because that's sympathetic. So the sympathy for small medium enterprise UMKM is actually there. Now, then very important that very nice, you're offering this, but you expect me to buy this, and then if it doesn't sell, what happens then? So reduce the risk for the retailer, meaning saying, look, sell or return, anything that doesn't sell, I'll take back. You know, or basically look at consignment options in essence. Consignment is something that is an administrative nightmare, so I prefer not to work with consignment myself, but in the very beginning, you can't get away from it. So that is something that sometimes you need to be prepared to just get it kickstarted. You need to basically do something weird like that. Now, sale or return comes down to the same thing. So I always say, like, look, I'll just take back anything that is not sold, and after the promotion, We'll try it for like 2, 3, 4 weeks, basically, and then if you feel like it is not moving, I'll take everything back, no questions asked. So that is something that really puts these guys at ease because retailers are really looking at very tiny margins. So they are really managing these categories very diligently. So they need to make money on these small margin products. So therefore, having stock that isn't selling because they took a risk on something that nobody knows. Yeah, that is something you need to look at from their side. Okay, why should I help this person? They want to help you, but you need to also make it interesting for them and say, look, after it's proven that it's sold, then let's do it the normal way where you just buy. It's still sale or return. Everything in the world is actually sale or return. Like you either even the big ones that actually don't have returnable goods, basically, you will just have a big nightmare when things are expired or broken and stock needs to be returned. Yeah, that is actually what retailers are then also holding against you, basically, in order to hold any future purchase order, in order to make sure that you actually solve their problem first before you can actually do new business. So don't stay yourself blind on returns. Returns are part of the game. So I do advise you not to fall into the trap of trying to do something on firm sale. There are companies that are insisting on that, and they struggle. They have a very difficult time, and they're not usually liked by retailers. And you need to have that likability definitely in the first few months, basically, or the first year, basically, that you're doing business with these guys. Now, then, of course, I already mentioned it, the why in addition to the what. So the thing you need to tell about yourself, apart from what you do, is also why you do it. So, hey, I always had a dream to do this, or I saw this is a problem and I found this solution. So the why is actually that you found the solution, that you actually saw it could be better. Yeah. So this is actually something that you need to leverage as well as the story that makes you sympathetic. So people are trying to understand what makes you tick. Now, then doing business in the end is getting to know each other. So that is actually what I would like to really, give you as a takeaway here. don't try to do it all in one talk. You need to basically learn, when you are working together with a retailer, how they work. Some people are very distrusting of external suppliers. That is also something I've noticed in the past, where I am always very, very precise and very correct with the way I treat retailers. So if there's a dispute or anything that is, not clear, anything, then I just give it the benefit of the doubt always to the retailer. So I'd rather lose money than betray the trust of the retailer. So, like anything that is rather my own disadvantage than their disadvantage, because that's the relationship you need to build. The relationship you build very gradual over time, and you can destroy it in minutes when you make a problem about returns, or when you are doing something dishonest, or when they feel like you're doing something dishonest. It's not always something dishonest that you do, but communicate very well. Look, I'm doing this, I'm planning to do this, I'm coming by then. Don't show your face for 2 months is also a sure way to actually upset a retailer, because they think, okay, so you sold it in and then you forget about me. So this is something that you need to, your people, your team needs to actually merchandise and needs to come in. So um, one more thing I think I should add here is that there are two ways actually of doing it in the beginning when you are a small player. Um, One is very intensive, but it has the best results, because uh, the very intensive part is actually the full service merchandising option. So when you are an external supplier, just say basically, look, I'm going to deliver it. This is the space you're going to put to me, and I'll make sure this space is perfectly merchandised, perfectly filled. It's making you money. So in the end, this is what retailers love, especially in the Netherlands. They are very open to that because labor is expensive. Maybe Asia, Indonesia, it's maybe less in terms of full service merchandising is very rare actually, because labor is not that expensive, but it's covered through sales promotion girls, SPGs and sales promotion boys, basically. So in the end, this is what I would say is like, rather than just supplying at the back door and then letting the store owner actually, the store staff do it. This is one of the things that I really recommend at the beginning, to really start with this full service merchandise. Especially if you have multiple varieties, then you can really manage your stock. You can basically make sure that it's all neat. You can also have a better look at what is selling, what is not, basically, and rather than looking at what the store owner is giving you as feedback. So this is actually the way you would start with your first store. This is a very short video, so I basically would like to leave it at this. If you have any questions, feel free to contact me. I'll put my contact details at the end. You can send me an email at alex@devriessalesconsultancy.com. If you would like to like and subscribe, I would love to hear from you. So please do like and subscribe and push the bell button on the YouTube video. Follow us on Facebook, on Instagram, on LinkedIn. We have a number of TikTok videos as well that we are putting out. So again, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out. And otherwise, I would love to hear from you in the next video, or see you at the next video. Thank you so much. Bye bye.